Okay, so I've got the Headlight Expert LED conversion kit H13 for 09 Jeep Wrangler. And you can see the headlights are a little bit foggy, but for a fair comparison, I'm gonna switch the lights so that I can see what it's like before and after, and then I'll do a little polish on there. So I haven't even looked here to see how hard it is. I can see the wire right in there, so that one might not be bad. This one over here, I see the wire, but I don't know how I'm gonna get my hand to it. So I will go ahead and switch those, and if I see some tips, I will bring you along and show you along the way. And here I thought I'd show you what they look like. Comes in this nice little box. You got the LEDs here, and it's got this wire on here with some kind of a control box connected. So, it's supposed to be plug and play. Supposed to be able to just unplug those headlights, screw these in, plug them in, and go. So, we'll see. Okay, so the winch is rigged close, so I was able to just pull the pull tabs out of there and then just pop this one side loose to give me a little bit of room to get the light out, so I didn't have to take the entire grill off. This one over here, it relocked. When I pushed it in, the tab, I didn't hear the click like you watch videos of, you know, like you put in new Quadratec headlights and you watch them put it in there and it goes snap. Well, it didn't make a snap sound, but when I was able to get the red lock over, it does seem to be holding. But on this side, that one is not holding. The little green tab that's supposed to lock split. So I'm going to have to change that one. Luckily, by removing that horn, I can do it from under here and I don't have to pop the grill off again. So I'll check the auto parts store tomorrow and see if I can get one. I'll just tape it together for tonight. So that's locked in there. Pulling on it, it's not coming apart. So I will go ahead and just slide that back in there. Get that that headlight ring on there. Turn these on, see what they look like. Take some pictures of it shining over there. I wish I didn't have the sandblast booth there at the moment, but shining when I came in, and then I'll take it back outside and see what it looks like compared to before. And then later on, I'll take the polish. I have some polish, and I'll polish these up some, and that'll make it better yet. So here we go. Okay, so now we're working on the tow truck. It's not a tow truck, but it tows my toys, so, you know, tow truck. Anyway, so I'm not impressed with the instructions from Headlight Experts. I got a friend that has these. He loves them. And I'm watching videos. In the videos, it tells you which way these go. Don't match the bulb. The video is talking about one side is farther away than the other. That's the low beam that needs to point up. The high beam points down. I had to look up a video to figure out that this unscrews so that you can install it in the ring that holds it on the back of these trucks. I'll show you that in a minute. So there's just things that aren't going together. There's not a single piece of paper that comes on in it. There's no online instructions I've been able to find. They have a couple of videos, but like I say, they don't seem to match this bulb. In the video that I watched, it said that the H4 and the H13 and the 9007, and there's another one, that they all go in the same way. I put the ones in the Jeep last night, and I have them going side to side, so that it's like this, where you got a beam at 3 o'clock and 9 o'clock. Well, in their video, it talks about you need to have the low beam going up and the other one going down, so it would be at 12 o'clock and 6 o'clock. But these are the same. I think that's actually a high beam and a low beam in there together, not different on each side. See, each side is, if I can turn this around, each side is exactly the same. And looking inside the lights on my Ford here, and the configuration of the reflector and that piece inside there, it has a guard on the top, and all the reflecting, it comes off the sides. There's going to be some light that reflects off here, but the bottom is not slanted very much, and the top, well, kind of the same thing. It's not slanted very much. So I'm going to go ahead and put these in here and see what kind of pattern I can get out of it. On my wife's Jeep, it's a round bulb, so, you know, it's all round. It can go all directions. But I was able to get a flat beam out of it when I shined it at that wall. I had to move my sandblast cabinet out of the way, and I was able to shine it at that wall, and I had a flat beam going across. And when you high beam, they went up and they went down. So I think if the bulb was turned the other way, it would almost make me think that the beam would be up and down, which it wasn't. So I'm going to proceed with this and see how it plays out. I looked up other, you know, just in general, and it seems like the consensus is online, when you try to figure out which way you're supposed to put a bulb in, most of the stuff I read said that it should be 3 and 9. So I'll set this down for a minute. I'll pull that plug out of there, and I'll show you how that plug comes out. Alright, so right down in there, I think you can see it. So there's a ring. Well, you can't see nothing now with my big old hand in the way. Alright, so you turn that, and pull this thing up here. There we go. So you have this thing that spins around. So you got to be able to get that over this. That's why this unscrews. So I'll set this down and I'll take that all apart and I'll show you. Okay, so this tab, this ring, holds it to the bulb. These tabs here screw on, but it won't go on like that, and you can't put it in the other way because this wire's in the way. So you unscrew this, you slide this down on here, and then you take this, and it's got an O-ring in there and everything, and you screw this back on. Whoops, that's backwards. Here we go. And then you screw that back on. And be careful, because you're dealing with some plastic threads here on this blue piece. They're fine thread, a whole bunch of them. So there you go. You screw that back on there, and then go ahead and snug that up. Hold it by the by the outsides here, because this center is a fan for the heat sink. So I'll just go ahead and tighten that up. And then you're ready to put this, mount this bulb back in there. Just reach down in there, line all that stuff up, and be tight. And then you can plug this into the old wire. So, here we go. I'm gonna give it a try. Alright, I'm not sure how well it shows up in this camera. This light over here on the right hand side is the new LED. This one over here is good quality halogen. Now if you come down here, I don't know if it'll show. Yeah, you can tell. This is a more clear light. This has got a little more yellowish tint to it. So the only thing about that that worries me is sometimes too bright white of a light isn't good in fog. More of a yellowish light is better in fog. So that's the only thing that worries me. So that's just a little bit brighter at that distance. It looks like I need to adjust it down a little bit, but hopefully it throws the light farther. So I won't know for sure until tonight. Okay, so what I learned is, you see this little notch right there, a little notch there, and there's one right there. On these new LED lights, it has one notch, and then it has a big area that's open, I guess, so that it fits multiple kinds of lights. So you put the notch up at the top, and you probably won't be able to see it even if I bring this up here. I don't know, I'll try. Put that right on there, the light in there. I'm not sure if you can tell on the camera or not, but there's little tabs in there in the housing, and it's in that top notch. It's right by the edge of that notch, and the other one is over there in an open area. So not only do you have to get those three notches lined up into that light, that clocks the light so it's the right direction when it's a standard light. You just, and it's in there the right way. You don't have to worry about it. But with these LEDs, because that light comes out and that piece unscrews, you could still wind up turning the light whichever direction. So what I found is you need to have that fitting, the blue fitting, a little bit loose when you put it on there, and then try the clock, that black lock ring that holds the whole thing into the back. Try to clock that where the tab is just slightly offset with this notch up here to match the notch in the back of this. So you have a notch in the back of this for the lock ring, and you have a notch, or you have a tab in the side to line everything. So I had to have them loose so that you can get them in there. Once they're all in there, then I just turned the light around until it got tight. So what's nice about the Super Duty here is you can get your hand down in there, and on this other side, at least with aftermarket airbox, you can get your hand down into there. So they're both in, and now I'll turn them on and adjust them. Okay, there it is. So I would say they are brighter. You're here right in between, and they came out similar. Looks like this driver's side one is just a hair higher than the passenger side. So what I'm doing, let's see what they look like head on. Yeah, they both look nice bright white. I have some clips of when I put these new fixtures in there. You can see the running lights below, nice and clear, look good. Alright, so I gotta do a little work on the tow rig. These headlights, I can't see nothing. When I came home from Thompson's Reservoir, it was dark when I was coming the last part, and I was like driving blind. Might as well not even have headlights on. So I just ordered some replacements. I didn't get fancy ones. Let's see what we got in here. Okay, so we got the Solar Series Platinum. Huh. Alright, so those are supposed to be awesome bulbs, according to them. And then, you know, where is a knife? Alright, I gotta grab a knife, open these boxes, and see what we got. Alright, got this one cut open. So, these are the new turn signals. You gotta have a light to get your toy where you want to go play. You gotta be safe. Slight difference. I like that. Got a clear lens there instead of that. And way brighter. That's gonna make the front look a lot nicer. And that'll help people see me. And let's see, then down in this box, this should be the headlight then. Let's see how much these are different. Pull that out of the bag. Now they already have a headlight in them. They're supposed to come with the Xeon headlight in them, but instead they just gave me this. And that, before and after. I think I might be able to see a little better. Alright. I know that's not the kind of stuff that you normally tune into my channel for, but if you don't have a tow rig, it's kind of hard to get your machine out. Or your machine out. So I'll pop the hood, throw one of those in, show what it looks like on either side. Alright, well here's this side. It's in there. It just looks a little bit better than this side. So, we got those in. And as far as adjusting, what I'm going to do is I just measure to the ground to the center of the light. I'll go over there and make a mark on the wall. Measure the distance apart. That I'm kind of guessing. Make a mark over there on the wall. I can put some tape on there. And then I read something about you get 25 feet away, so if I open up the door of the shop, I could back the truck up a little bit before I drop off the concrete. And it'll be real close, 25 feet to that wall. And at 25 feet, it should be 2 inches lower than what it is at the headlight. Something I read. I don't know how accurate that is, but that's where I'm going to start. Which would put it just a little bit below that screw line. So I think that the hot spot of this beam would be here instead of up here. I think it's got to go down a little bit. But I'll go ahead and measure that, put a mark on it, and then back truck up and see what it does. Okay, so it turns out, I measured to the center of these headlights, that screw line is 2 inches below that. And now I've got the truck back 25 feet from the wall. So it looks like the passenger one needs to come up slightly. So let's see, which adjustment is that? I have this one here inside. And then I have another one way back there. So I believe this inboard one moves the bulb in and out, and I think the one back here in this back hole moves it up and down. So let's see. Turn that. Yep, it's moving up. Alright, so that looks like that looks to me like the top of the beam is right at the screw line now. This one over here looks pretty close, but I'll turn it a little bit to see how it changes. Yeah. Yeah, I'm gonna say right about there. I'll come back over here. Yeah, man, I don't know. I'm almost thinking this one needs to go up just a hair more. Whoops, wrong one. It's this one back here. And get that screwdriver on there. That screw, it just always feels like it's loose, like it's going to fall out of there. But anyway, alright, so turn that up a little bit. Alright, go down. Now come back up so it has a load on it. Yeah, it's hitting right at that screw line like that other one. Okay, and then the distance apart, that's going to be hard to tell, because I can't tell exactly where the center of the beam is. I'm going to say, right here's the center of the beam. Right here's the center of the beam. So I think it's hitting center of the beam right around where my rack is. Right about here and here. So if I grab my tape measure here and check, I don't really need a tape, so if it's there, it's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, right in there, almost 6 foot. So are these lights 6 foot apart? Probably not. About there to here, no, they're around 5 foot-ish. So that must not be the center. So that's hard to tell because the pattern is wide. So that one, I guess, I'll have to adjust in the real world. Have to take it outside at night, but I got a light, it's shining out that far, 25 feet. It's 2 inches down. So in theory, it won't blind the car until they get real close to me. So I guess I will run with that. Okay, so that finishes up the installation of the Headlight Experts LED conversion kit. I got these turned. I turned this one more time. I was able to get a full revolution out of it, get it a little tighter. So the wires are actually hanging down off of the heat sink in the back on both sides. They're real snug. I don't think they're going to move, even vibrating down a road. You can hear the fans running in there. But you never leave the headlights on when you're not in the rig anyway. So I think that's it. So I put a set in the Jeep Wrangler. I got a set in my towing vehicle. I did buy a set for my little runaround rig. I got a little Suzuki I use for running around. So I'll probably put a set in that because you can't see anything out of that either. And we'll see how they work. See if I can tell a noticeable difference at night. Hopefully I have better visibility. And then when I load this thing, I probably should check the alignment again on this truck, because that could be part of my problem. Because 90% of the time when I'm driving this at night, I'm towing or have a camper on or something like that. So part of my problem on visibility might be that when I'm loaded, I need to lower the lights even more. Although I don't get flashed a lot, you know, like my high beams are hitting people in the eyeballs. So I guess I will just play with that a couple different ways. Hope this is helpful. You got any questions or comments, go ahead and throw them in the comment section below. I'll give you an update down the road on how these pan out. I'll probably throw it into another video and tell you if I'm liking them or not. Maybe the next time I go camping and I have to drive at night. Alright, thanks for watching. Don't forget to like, subscribe, and share, and we will catch you on the next one.